Okay, good afternoon. My name is Bethany Farrell, and I am the Associate Director for Operations at Career Development at A&M-Commerce. I wanted to record a quick video for you guys on how to hire how to post a work study job and some steps that you'll need to take in order to do that. So the first thing you'll need to do once you've decided you want to hire a work study student is you'll need to work up a job description. Don't let the word job description intimidate you. That is as simple as a list of bullet points of what that person is going to do. My office has some samples of those available if you need assistance in writing those job descriptions. Actually, 2 careers ago, that is what I did for a living, was write job descriptions. So our office is happy to help you with that. You can just email us for some assistance at hirealion@tamuc.edu if you need help getting that started. It can be a little intimidating, but it's pretty basic stuff. Once you've done it once or twice, you'll wonder why you ever thought it would be hard. So once you've got that job description ready, you know when you need someone to work, you know what you want them to do. You're gonna and what the title of the job is going to be. You're going to go and log into Handshake. I have a separate video that you can watch on the YouTube playlist about how to create a Handshake account if you have not yet done so. So make sure you watch that. And know how to create that account. If you already have that, you will know that if you just go to hirealion.com, it will redirect you to the internal of the TAMUC website, career development website, and you can come right here and click on under faculty and staff or employers. A fun fact, they take you to the same place. So if you already have your approved account and need to log in, you're going to click on tamuc.joinhandshake.com. If you've not registered and you're going to go follow that video, you'll click on tamuc.joinhandshake.com/register. So for this purpose, we're going to go ahead and click on tamuc.joinhandshake.com. And when you come here, the very first and most important thing to remember is do not click on this blue box. Do not log in as a student. It will look very weird and you will wonder why you were trying to find a job and not post a job. So that is probably the most common question I get. Do not click on the blue box. Click on the words that say you can also sign in with your email address here and click sign in with your email address. And then what you're going to want to do is type in your tamuc.edu email address. And then you're going to click next. It's going to ask you for a password. It's going to try and get you to click on that blue box again, but we do not want to click on the blue box. We want to click on login using your Handshake credentials. So click on that and then type in your password. Your password needs to be 12 characters with a capital letter and a special character. So an exclamation point, a pound sign, whatever it is. So when you log in, it's going to take you to your employer account, which is, I'm going to switch to my employer account because I have an admin account. When you first log in, this is what it's going to look like right here. You will see there's 3 sections here in the center. Post the job under this post a job button. These are any jobs that are currently posted. Then request an interview. We can help you coordinate interviews virtually if you'd like. You don't really have to worry about that. Not many people use that. And then if you want to create an event, you can do that as well. But those interviews and event, you're really never going to use that. Your bread and butter here in Handshake is going to be this post a job section. So you can see here I have 2 positions that are posted. If I go over here and click on the left-hand side and click on jobs, I can actually see every job that has ever been posted by my department. It'll default to the active jobs. You can actually edit where it shows all jobs that have been posted by your department or just jobs that have been created by me. Most of these jobs in here have been created by me. So if you have a department that, like I know, for example, over in the VPBA's office, they have a lot of different departments posting under one account. So you can narrow those down to just the jobs you've posted, or you can show all of your department's jobs. So I can see here that I have these 2 positions that I've posted. This one is a work study position. I noted that in the title. And then if I go here over here and I click on expired, you can see that I have been posting in Handshake for a very long time. So I have a lot of jobs, 2 full pages of jobs that I've been posting since 2017. So you can show expired, you can show all, you can show any that are not posted. If you have different divisions that are set up, we can help you set those up. You can narrow it down by that as well. So What I'm going to show you, there's 2 videos in the YouTube playlist. One is how to duplicate and one is how to create a job, but I'm going to just quickly show you how to go to the create a job, specifically from a work study perspective. So this is a blank job, never been posted before. The first question you're going to want to answer is apply in Handshake. You're going to want to have them apply in Handshake. You can do it through an external system, but if you're just wanting to gather some resumes, you can do Handshake. If you need more detailed information, there's additional paperwork you want them to fill out. You can create an additional registration form through JotForm or Sign Up Genius or something like that. But most 95% of people just have them apply in Handshake. And so then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to type job title. I always include the words work study when I'm doing a work study position here. So student assistant work study. That helps you distinguish the positions from others in your department. If you can only hire for work study, this helps only students that once we're done here, only students that are eligible for work study will be able to apply to this role. Financial aid and I have worked out a system very well that only allows permitted students to be able to see work study positions. So it's really helpful. It doesn't, that way you don't have a student apply to a work study job that doesn't actually have a work study award from financial aid. So then next is company division. You can see here we have a bunch of different divisions within my department. You may have, this may be if you're applying, if you're in the College of Humanities, and this may be the different departments within your college. You can select those or you can leave them out. I usually select don't show my info because I want them to just communicate with me through Handshake. I don't want them, calling me or showing up at my office to ask about the job. I want this all to be done virtually. I want to review applicants and then control that. So next is important. You're always going to want to select on-campus student employment. Even if it's a graduate assistant position, you're always going to select on-campus student employment. And then you would select part-time because student workers are a part-time role. They can work up to 19 hours per week during the fall and spring. They can work more than that during the summer, but 19 hours is the limit during the fall and spring. Then I always actually say temporary. That gives you the option to, if at the end of a semester a position is not working out, a student's not a fit for a role, you can let them know at the very beginning that you hire them on a semesterly basis. And if it's not working out, it gives you the option so they know that they were not going to be continuing on in that role. So it gives you that option. I do that. I only have all my students know that they only work for me from semester to semester. Because if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Sometimes that happens. And so I just put those start dates in there. No job is really actually permanent, particularly in a right to work state. So put that there. And then this is the most important thing you will learn from this training is this a work study job? If you say yes here, only students who have approved work study will see this position. So if you post a position and you say yes to this question, and then a student calls you and says, after you sent them a job to apply to, and they say, oh, I can't see the job, why can't I see it? 99.5% of the time, that is because they do not have work study. It is not something is wrong in Handshake. It is not they are doing something wrong. It is they most likely do not have work study, and that's why they're not seeing that position. They will not be able to see it if they do not have approved work study. So if you say yes here, just know that only work study students will be able to apply for that role. If you say no here, but you are still willing to hire a work study student, that is also fine. You can, when you get to this next page and click on details, you can say this position is available for students with or without a work study award, and just ask those students. I am in the habit of every time I go to hire a student, asking if they have work study, because you want to default to using that because it comes out of the work study budget, which we need to spend every year, and they're paid for through that as opposed to your departmental budget. So I would get in the habit of always asking a student if they have a work study award and checking. I know Christina in financial aid is always willing to check and see if a student has work study or is eligible for work study. So we make sure that we max out those funds and spend those funds every year. So if you say no there, still say that this position is available to students with or without work study. So then right here is where we would add our job description. This is going to be what they're going to do, your expectations, their responsibilities, any hours that they need to work to be available to work, that kind of thing. In this box, you're going to say how many students you expect to hire. Is it 1? Is it 10? It doesn't really matter if you don't know, but you do have to put a number in that box. So if you just think, oh, I just need 1 person to work for me, you can just default it to 1. I would always suggest putting paid and what you're going to pay them hourly. A common misconception is that a work study student has to be paid minimum wage. That is absolutely incorrect. I would actually encourage you to pay them above minimum wage. It will increase the quality of your candidate pool and the number of applicants you receive. If you are paying someone $8 to $9 an hour, even up to $10 an hour versus $7.25 an hour, you will see a dramatic increase in that. And usually their work study award will spread that far. They get anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 a semester. Christina can, with financial aid, can talk more about how that money is awarded, but it's the exception, not the rule, that they run out of work study funds, because usually most of them don't work that full 19 and don't max out that award. But if they do max out that award, there are options, again, that Christina and financial aid can help you out with. So I usually pay my students starting, $850, and then semesterly I'll give them an increase from there based on, depending on what they're going to do. And it's also based on experience. If they have 0 experience, I start them at the lower end of that spectrum. I don't pay anybody under $850 an hour. But if they are bringing in experience, I will start them even. I've had students that have started as high as $10 an hour. So it's up to you. And if you want some assistance, again, with our department to help you get a good idea of what would be a good hourly rate, we're happy to do that. You can just email us at hirealliant@taumuc.edu. So we're going to put $10 in here. We're going to say, they are going to be working in Commerce, Texas. That's the job location. If I can type, that's the next step, is to add Commerce, Texas here. If you will allow them to work remote, you can click this allow remote workers. I think most student workers are in office, but it's up to you. That's definitely your call. If you are interested in learning more about that and how to manage remote workers, we have some trainings we can do with your department on that as well. So required documents, these are optional. You don't have to require any documents. You can just require them to submit things. Usually I have them at least submit a resume. You can add as many things as you want, but just be careful when you're adding documents. If you're adding a required resume, cover letter, transcript, other document, and it makes it harder for them to apply, your number of applicants is going to go down. So if you're requiring 3 reference letters and all kinds of crazy things for an entry-level student worker position, you may not get as many applicants as you want. So I usually just ask for a resume, and then in other document, I will say work study permit and course schedule. So that is 3 documents that they need to upload, but those are really important documents that they need to include. So the work study permit will come via email from financial aid to the student, and they should have that. It's usually a pretty quick turnaround. And the course schedule just knows when, it shows you when they're available to work. They are not allowed to work when they're in class, so we need to have that documentation on record to make sure that when we're hiring students, we're not hiring them to work when they're supposed to be in class, because the government does not like that, especially if they're being paid as a work study student. The federal government frowns upon them working when they're supposed to be in class. It's actually a huge audit flag, so please don't allow them to work when they're supposed to be in class. So you add those documents in there, and then when you go to preferences, you can select different years here. If you're looking for an undergraduate student, obviously you're going to want to select freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. You can do it by graduation date, but their graduation dates are not always right in Banner. They are not always right in Handshake, because this data pulls from Handshake. So I just do it based on freshman, sophomore, junior, senior if I'm looking for an undergrad, and that will keep the students from from like graduate students from applying to an undergraduate only position. So, but if you're hiring for a GA, when you're posting a position, for example, and you need a graduate student worker, graduate work study student, which does exist, you can select master's and doctorate. But usually if you're hiring a work study student, they're going to be an undergraduate student population. If you have specific majors they need to be from, you can select that here. Like if they have to, have a business background, Like for example, let's say you really want them to be an accounting student. You can go and you can select all these business majors, or you can go in here and choose a major specific by school. And so we can go to A&M-Commerce and choose accounting and only select accounting majors. That's going to only make accounting majors fully qualified for this position. So it doesn't mean that people without accounting majors will be restricted from applying to this, but they will fall into an unqualified bucket. And you can look at the resumes that are just those accounting, freshmen, sophomore, junior, senior students, and eliminate them by that. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. So then you can choose your applicant package. It's going to send it to me. I was posting this job. I can send you an list of applications when the job expires or every time a new student applies. And you can, if you select this, only send applicants who match all preferences. That is only going to email you when an accounting student with work study who is a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior applies to this position. It's not going to send you a graduate assistant who doesn't have a graduate level student who doesn't have work study, who's a computer science major that's totally unqualified. It's not going to notify you about that. So just something to consider there. And if you want more than one person in your department to receive those, you can go in and select, like I can select Lacey, and she wants a summary when the job expires. So that's a great way to have more than one person be able to be accessible to those positions. Then you'll go to the schools tab. You're here, you should only have A&M-Commerce in the list. You just select A&M-Commerce. The apply start date will default to whatever day it is that you're doing the video. And there's this interview on campus button. You can click it or not. It doesn't matter. That's really more for employers that are off campus. So you can just sort of ignore that. And then the expiration date is how long you will be open. It needs to be open at least 5 days to give everyone an equal opportunity to apply to that role. So I usually do it about a week just for easy simplicity's sake. So I'm posting it today. I'll need it to be posted until next Friday, same time, 10 a.m. I select that. Then I click preview. It's going to give me a quick preview of what the job looks like. The job will include that job description, when it's closing, a little bit about your department here, an ability for them to share the job. And then once you click save, it will go into a pending status and will be reviewed by my department, career development. Those are reviewed daily. And they are reviewed every 24 hours. We ask that you do give us about 24 hours to approve them because we do get jobs by the hundreds. And so it does take a little bit of time, but we are pretty quick. The first ones we review are student employment opportunities. So you would click save and it would be available in your positions. I'm not going to do that today because this is a blank position, but you can go here and see that I have some active jobs that are approved. So now I want to quickly show you what you do once you've posted the position, you found some people you would like to hire. So you have this position here, this work study job. If you go over here and click on applicants, it's going to show everybody that has applied to the job. So if you decide, you want to hire Amani or whoever has applied to the position, all you need to do before you go over to Jayla and HR is change it from pending to hired, and then get this number right here. That's tamec.joinhandshake.com/jobs and this job ID number, and copy that. And then that number you will need when you go to fill out your paperwork with HR, whether that is adding a job for the student in Handshake in Workday if they've already worked on campus, or doing the new pre-hire form if they've never worked on campus before. So when you're engaging with them, make sure that you ask them, A, if they have work study, if you did not post it as a work study position, and B, if they've ever worked on campus before, because that will predict your next steps. So Jayla and Kayla in HR can help you with the next steps of what to do once you've finished in Handshake, but that should conclude how to post a job in Handshake. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can email me anytime. If you just email hirealion@tamec.edu, we'd be happy to help you get your account set up or answer any questions you have. And there's plenty of other videos on this YouTube playlist as well. So I wish you the best of luck in your hiring. And as I said before, please let us help you with any of your recruiting needs by emailing us at hirealliant@tamuc.edu. Have a great day.